In verse 24 it says, And Pharaoh called unto Moses, and said, Go you, serve the Lord, only let your flocks and your herds be stayed, let your little ones also go with you. And Moses said, You must give us also sacrifices and burnt offerings, that we may sacrifice to the Lord our God. Our cattle also shall go with us. There shall not one hoof be left behind, for therefore thereof must we take to serve the Lord our God. And we know not with what we must serve the Lord until we come thither. But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he would not let them go. This kind of wrangling reminds me of what is going on in the Middle East today. The Edomites keep putting conditions on everything. They just can't let the Hebrews alone. They just have to keep messing with them. Well, that's what this Edomite Pharaoh did back then, too. Now, in verse 28, Then Pharaoh said to him, Get away from me. Take care never to see my face again, for on the day you see my face you shall die. Moses said, As you say, I will not see your face again. Exodus 11 verse 1, And the Lord said to Moses, Yet will I bring one plague more upon Pharaoh and upon Egypt. Afterwards he will let you go. When he shall let you go, he shall surely thrust you out of here altogether. So this next plague is going to be the final one, and it's the death of the firstborn. But before this begins, God asks his people to go to their Egyptian friends and ask for silver and gold jewelry. Now this has to be done before the death of the firstborn, because after the Egyptians have their household upset like that, they're not going to be able to respond positively to any requests for silver and gold jewelry. You do understand that they're going to be very upset with the Hebrew people, and they're not even going to want to talk to them. In verse 2 it says, Speak now in the hearing of the people, that they ask every man of his neighbor and every woman of her neighbor for silver and gold jewelry. And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. Moreover, the man Moses was very great in the land of Egypt, in the sight of Pharaoh's servants, and in the sight of the people. After this was done, then Moses explained more about what was going to happen. In verse 4, And Moses said, Thus says the Lord, About midnight will I go out into the midst of Egypt, and all the firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sits upon his throne, even to the firstborn of the maidservant that is behind the mill, and all the firstborn of beasts. And there shall be a great cry throughout all the land of Egypt, such as there was none like it, nor shall be like it any more. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that you may know how the Lord does put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. And all these your servants shall come down to me, and bow down themselves to me, saying, Get you out, and all the people that follow you, and after that I will go out. And he went out from Pharaoh in a great anger. And the Lord said to Moses, Pharaoh will not hearken to you, that my wonders may be multiplied in the land of Egypt. And Moses and Aaron did all the wonders before Pharaoh, and the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, so that he would not let the children of Israel go out of his land. Chapter 12, verse 1, The Lord said to Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, This month shall be for you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year for you. Tell all the congregation of Israel, that on the 10th day of this month every man shall take a lamb according to their fathers' houses, a lamb for a household. And if the household is too small for a lamb, then he and his nearest neighbor shall take according to the number of persons, according to what each can eat, you shall make your count for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male, a year old. You may take it from the sheep or from the goats, and you shall keep it until the 14th day of this month, when the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill their lambs at twilight. Notice that the lamb was to be in the households from the 10th to the 14th day of Nisan. Now that used to be the month of Aviv, but that got changed. Anyway, it was from the 10th to the 14th. That was 4 complete nights for each household to have a lamb. And during that time, they would care for the lamb and love on it, and it became a member of their household.